Hi, folks, and welcome into Season 5 with the Spring Training episode here on February 33 Games, the YouTube channel, where we are following the Boston Red Sox here on MLB The Show 25. And as always, let's talk about the team. A disappointing season last year, but we've made some additions, kept around some core pieces, and we are ready to get going here. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff if you're excited for what can be another, hopefully, World Series push here with the squad. As always, we start starting pitching. As always, we start with maybe the best starter in the league. One all-star, no accolades by doing this. All the years you see on the screen is what he's done with us in this series. And just been a complete fucking monster the entire time. He's so good. Don't really get how he hasn't got All-Stars or Cy Youngs or whatever it may be under his belt, but Garrett Crochet, one of the best pitchers in the league, and has performed like it, is getting paid like it in his age 29 season. Very excited to see what he has. Other than that, a lot of unknowns. Drew Thorpe came in and was pretty good with us. Didn't have a great year in total, but did have more akin to his 2027 Chicago White Sox. Gave up on him. We did give up a decent package to get his services, but with that 97 hits per nine, and that nasty break, he is a very well-liked addition to this staff, and we'll see how he does in a full season here at Fenway Park. Beyond that, there are some question marks. Johnny Turner, who is one of our highest rated guys in terms of potential, is back after missing. No, he's not back. When does Johnny Turner go? Oh yeah, he goes in May. So actually, we have to make Johnny Turner hurt for a little bit. But once he comes back, Johnny Turner is looking like a guy that we can lean on, hopefully. But beyond that, take Turner out of the rotation. We have some questions for sure. Brian Bayo, if we're going to get another season like this, then I really don't want him in the rotation. This is a $9 million a year bullpen piece. He just can't get it together. The talent's there. The stats are there. It just hasn't wrapped itself into just a pretty bow. And he's just been a 4.8, 4.9 ERA guy, and I don't want that. I think he's better than that. Gavin Stone last year, a little up and down year, but ended up really having a good season for us in the long haul. 3.62 ERA, ended up being worth 2.1 show WAR, for example. It was a 1.6 for Bayo, which is, I guess, terrible, but as you can see, definitely not the best he's ever thrown up there. Noriyashi in his first season with us was excellent. Well, I wouldn't say excellent, but was good for a rookie, and we're expecting him to advance and build upon that year. Surprised he didn't get top 30 rookie of the year votes, but it is what it is. We also have Simeon Woods Richardson, who has been looking to get himself into rotation. Was a long man for us the last couple of years. Used a lot more last year than he was the previous, but with 93 strikeouts and 85 innings. Especially if Bayo doesn't figure it out, maybe Bayo goes to the pen and Simeon Wood Richardson gets some starts in the rotation. Be very interesting, especially when he's coming into ARB now. Be very interesting to see what we do with that. And again, we will be talking about position battles a little bit later, and these guys are definitely going to be talked about in just a moment. Todd Rudy, a guy that we think more as a reliever, is a starter. I thought about maybe either moving these guys' positions over just to relief pitcher. But then I'm like, well, then they drop to like 4, 5, 6 overall, if not more, because of that. And then also, I was thinking, hey, maybe knock their stamina down and move it into the per nines. I'm just going to leave it as is. We'll put him in the bullpen. He'll be labeled as a starter. I don't know. It is what it is. But he is now going to be, I didn't really want him to be on the 40-man, but I remember last year, or in the last couple episodes, I mentioned that my settings got changed for whatever reason. Maybe with the update in the game, it kind of just reverted. Anyway, he is on the 40-man, and he's here. Luis Perales, he also, again, trying for a bullpen spot, maybe even dark horse for that starter spot at the end. Conley Early got a cup of coffee with us. He was honestly pretty good. He's also going to be in that mix of that starter, last starter. So we have a big position battle here going on. A lot of highlights to show in this spring. And the rest of the Brian Mata also more in the bullpen. We also have DJ Park here. He'll be gone. He'll be on the shelf until August, is one of our top prospects. Then other than that, really the only other top prospect we have is David McCormick. And again, we'll talk about him in a second. Earl Fernandez with the B potential as well. But we usually draft a lot in the starting pitcher pool, and that's usually our ammo to get other guys. And obviously we depleted that. Probably looking starter here sometime soon to kind of replenish that farm system. But that's what we got starting pitching line. Right. Relief pitchers, Kopech, Puck, Nardi, Slayton are our top guys. Everyone else, it could be any one of these guys, any one of those starters really are going to go, who's having the best season is going to go out there and get those last spots. Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots out of what? We usually keep 5 out of 13. So we have 3 spots remaining in the bullpen. Whether it is these 3 guys or some of these guys. We have 5 spots in the bullpen after the starters, 5 starters, and then our closer and 4 top relievers. Felix Bautista was awesome last year, and we signed him to a little bit of an extension, kind of weighing toward the end of the season, but honestly was phenomenal. 62 games for us, 59 innings. Kept the walks down enough, and 3.51 ERA, one of his best seasons since coming back from injury. 38 saves as well for him. We have him for 1 more year. All-star with us last year as well. Great. Very happy to have him. Catching. Ashton Fuqua is going to be our starter. He's going to actually bat in probably the middle of our lineup, and we'll talk about that. Decent defensively with a very strong arm. Blocks a lot better than Connor Wong. Really great plate skills and good contact ratings. He's going to be just a very consistent bat, we hope. Walter Janik is up with us, a well-rounded bat, good defender, and then Carlos Narvaez, again, will be our backup catcher, most likely for this year, and maybe the foreseeable future. Maybe once he gets into ARB, we cut bait with him, and then you have Janik, Eduardo Tate as well in here, and Dominique Les, our crown jewel here at Double-A, and I'm excited to see what he does for a full season. Got hurt last year. Very excited to see what he does here. First baseman, obviously Devers and Casas, and we have moved John Norman full-time to first base. We feel like the glove can work there. Just didn't really have the body type of the catcher we kind of wanted, and obviously with Les being full-time, our number 1 catching prospect, and also didn't really have that much at first base. I was excited to move Norman over. Big power. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Drew Erhard and Taylor Duvall. Duvall B potential guy, but still a ways away. We need a big year out of Christian Campbell. We really need to finally see that year out of Christian Campbell. I'm hoping these ratings are enough to kind of catch fire for him, but it's been disappointing to say the very least. Last year was good enough to be a .3 WAR player. Wasn't exactly a negative, but we're looking for him to be much more of a positive. Struck out less than last year, but also walked less than last year. Again, I hope that he really has. This is his year to shine. What Roman Anthony had last year, hopefully that's the year you get at Christian Campbell and Marcelo Meyer. Robert Poisson as well in that or has just gotten on to the 40-man roster. We had an extra spot. We wanted to use it on position player, and Robert Poisson, 26, almost 70 overall. Yeah, I guess he's there. Rest of the second base depth, nothing really to write home about. A lot of good fielders there, not much with a bat. Alex Bregman, his last year in Boston, most likely. He has at least 1 more year on his contract. We probably move on for him. Was an all-star for us last year. World Series MVP for us and a playoff MVP for the year before that. And had a really good year. One of his best years since coming to Boston, especially in the power department. But again, aging, and we have some youth at third base, especially Theo Gillen. Gillen and Weston Wilson are going to be one of those position battles we talked about Weston Wilson, while I'm here or there about him. Weston Wilson, older, more of a both of these guys utility guys, but he has at least a really good strength against lefties. While Theo Gillen, probably the better player right now in a nutshell, I'd probably want to see him at least get everyday reps at third base, but at AAA. But if he has a really good spring and deserves to be up, I'm sure we're going to be seeing Theo Gillen up at this year at some point. But maybe a fast track for Weston Wilson. But we'll let him play it out, and we'll see what goes on. Luis Ravello and Neil Smalls are your depth at third base. Marcelo Meyer, again, kind of like Christian Campbell. He's had more glimpses and more flashes than Christian Campbell has, but still not enough. Still had power last year. That was akin to his power in his first full season starting with us, but just down in all the other categories. And we're hoping to get a little bit more than a 6.664 OPS, but also really good fielder. Worth one show war last year, so at least with the glove, he's going to give us some value. Rodolfo Castro, our lefty masher, he will split time with Marcelo Meyer again this year. After that, maybe we let Rodolfo Castro go, and we finally give the reins fully to Marcelo Meyer. Mikey Romero, he a great fielder. Obviously had a really big bump against lefties last year. Again, some more depth. He has a couple more options to use. Zan Donatello and Roberto Hernandez, not Bob Hernandez, Roberto Hernandez now, a potential guy. This is our big trade chip if we do decide to go. But major league fielder and athlete right now. Still look to see that bat continue to grow. In the outfield, obviously Riley Green, our big addition last year, or this in the off season. Fantastic fielder, not the fastest. We do lose a lot of speed with Jarren Duran gone. We don't really have a stolen base threat, stolen base guy. We're probably going to be towards the end of stolen bases. Riley Green hasn't had that superstar breakout season that you're thinking he's going to have, but still saw enough to get almost $30 million from us. And we are expecting really big things for this bat in Fenway Park. I really am. Probably going to be our leadoff hitter with the discipline being the way it is. Yeah, just is what it is. I think he's going to be one of our top guys this year. I'm really expecting like big things from Riley Green. Other than that, depth, Joe Swift is a guy to be looking at. His power starting to come along. He might be in AA for us this year. Maybe we start kind of that developmental clock with him. But he's been here for a little bit. He was obviously a ways away, but still an A potential guy. Other than that, Hedbert Hernandez, a good year last year. DJ Gladney as well, developed quite a bit. San Rafael is still in center field, and Kevin Alcantara has one more year of an option, so we'll probably use that. But Alcantara is good enough to be in the major leagues, and he'll probably be on the team at some point this year as well. Nelly Taylor continues to break what his barriers were set at. Chandler Simpson continues to be a speed threat for us. We want to keep him around the organization as long as possible, especially when we are lacking a lot of speed. And Jace Bowen as well, just there for depth. Roman Anthony, breakout last year in 135 games, 32 doubles, 23 triples, OPS right around 800. Great, very excited to see him develop and get going. Jordan Walker, maybe we trade Jordan Walker, because I was thinking, hey, him at third base, but we went out and got Riley Green. Originally, I was going to move Walker over to left field, have him just be left field and playing every day. But Riley Green was an opportunity, I think, too good to pass up. We needed a superstar bat. I don't know if we would have been extending Jordan Walker past this year. He's a really good bat. He's a major league ready bat. He needs to find a place to fly. Maybe $8.5 million is too rich. Do we trade him in spring training? Do we kind of see how he goes? Only 26 years old, and then trade him at the deadline. Who knows? But just know that he's going to be kind of on the block. Also, before we get going, let's check out the top prospects list. First off, by organization, as we always do. Here's the top 20 prospects in our organization. Again, we'll give a little snippet of 15 and up. Mikey Romero, Colin Pennick, Earl Fernandez, Neil Smalls, and Tom Rudy are your 20 through 16. And Eddie Zimborski is going to be your number 15 prospect with us. Not a great fielder, good contact, not much in power, but really good plate skills. Again, a contact, plate skills, speed guy. is a ways away. He was a draft pick from this past season, or the 4th round pick from this past season. But really good contact. This is like a double-A type hitter profile already at 57 overall. Be very interesting to see where we start him off. Probably in single A at 18 years old. But he could be in double A pretty soon, and hopefully he gets some really good years there where he can really progress in his development. Our 14 prospect is Roberto Hernandez. Yes, Bob Hernandez is finally on the top prospect list. 67 overall, A potential. A lot of his value comes with his glove and his legs. He is quick. He can steal a lot of bases. He has one of the better gloves in the game, a good arm. Not a super accurate arm, but is a very valuable fielder. Now, if he can have a really good season here and really drive up those contact numbers, then I think he's major league ready pretty soon. But until then, as of right now, it sits at number 14 on our list. Number 13, Louis Friedberg. 6th round pick from 2027. 4-pitch mix. Doesn't throw the ball super hard. Doesn't have a ton of break on it. Doesn't give up a lot of hits. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Is susceptible to the home run ball. A guy who's a few years away. But being a starting pitcher, a lefty starting pitcher at that, does hold a good amount of value. That's why you see him over the other two guys that we mentioned. Number 12 on the list, and the first guy that's going to get some gameplay as we're talking here, Luis Perales. Now, kind of jack of all trades, master of none. We saw him in spring training, did not look good last year. He's kind of coming to the end of his rope with us. Maybe more of a bullpen guy, but a guy who's going to strike you out. He does have good strikeout stuff, good velocity at 80 rating in the game, and a fastball that can hit up 96, 97, 98 if he really pushes it. Good sweeper, a good curveball. Just needs to put it all together. Did not have a good year in Worcester last year, but will be fighting for some time with the big league club for this year. Speaking of a guy that is not really fighting, has been given the job, Ashton Fuqua. He is a guy, our number 11 prospect. Did get a cup of coffee last year in 26 games. OPS 773. We just needed some offense. Brought him up. And I thought he was excellent for us. Now in a full year, what do these numbers look like? Hopefully very similar to what he did. We hope he's going to walk a whole bunch, not strike out a lot, is going to provide a decent amount defensively, and will just be a consistent bat that's going to hit 280 or above. I think he's capable of doing that. Someone that we targeted in the draft, in our first ever draft, found him in free agency and has been holding on to him ever since. Ashton Fuqua at 11, finally ready to be an everyday player for us. At number 10 on our list is Reynaldo Torres. Now, this guy's more of a reliever. Super high K per 9. Everything else is okay. Not the biggest stamina. Good control, though. And doesn't have... It's weird. High K per 9 guy, but with okay control and not a lot of velocity. The curveball is deadly. The changeup is good. The sinker has to be good. Reynaldo Torres had a really good year in Double-A. Probably still be in Double-A, but a guy that we're looking more as a relief pitcher than anything. We'll see where we start him, whether it's back in the rotation or in the bullpen somewhere, to really see how he does in that role. But yeah, definitely excited for Reynaldo Torres, and probably be major league ready not too long from now. Number 9 on the list, our 3rd round pick from last year, Sean Liss, a 4-seam sinker, changeup, slider, sweeping curve guy. Good break. This is a guy that's almost major league ready and not going to develop too much more. See potential guy at 6'7" overall. I think like 74 is his cap or whatnot. A guy that we got in this last year. And we're excited. 64 wash per 9, isn't going to get hurt. He's not going to strike out a whole bunch of guys, but a good profile. You see a lot from these guys. And Sean Liss coming in number 9. Number 8, another pick from last year's draft, Brandon Tuttle. A little bit more potential, but definitely farther away. The walks and the Ks, we're going to need to work on that. Doesn't give up a whole lot of home runs. Velocity's in a good spot with 4 pitches. Not a breaking ball on him. So maybe we try to give him a breaking ball at 18. A couple fastballs and a changeup. Brandon Tuttle comes in at number 8. Number 9, Eduardo Tate. Catcher that has reverse splits, hits lefties better than does righties, even though he is a lefty bat. Really good fielder off rip. And again, just looking for that 1 year to really bust out and get 4 or 5 overall better and push himself into a catching conversation pretty soon. But Eduardo Tate probably be in AAA this year. So not only give him a bigger challenge, but also free up at-bats for Dominique Velez. Number 6 on our board, about to hit the top 5, is Josh Green. Again, kind of master of none, jack of all trades type guy. He can develop kind of anyway at 65 overall, 19 years old, still AA bound, but 4-seam slider, changeup, cutter, and splitter. Be very interesting to see where he ends up with us. Theo Gillen, yes, this is a guy that's going to be pushing for a spot out of spring training. We think he's ready. He can do everything decently well. The bat, major league ready. The plate skills, major league ready. The fielding, okay, but still I think serviceable for what we're going to ask him to do. Speed, he's there. Guy is probably going to play third base for us. Can play some outfield. Can play the rest of the infield. Very versatile lefty bat. Very excited to see what Theo Gillen can give us, and especially if he can really tap into some power. Would love to have him man the hot corner for the next few years. Trade we got from David Hamilton, and Theo Gillen is out here, hopefully killing it for us. John Norman comes in at number 4, the now first baseman. Power in the name of his game. Also has a good glove as well. This is our Tristan Casas successor. Very excited, John Norman, someone that we identified early in the scouting process in 2027, fell in love with, and was our guy. Ended up being a top 20 prospect in all of baseball, and we'll see that ranking soon. And a guy that's number 4 on our board. Again, 78 power versus lefties, 56 versus righties. Really good against lefties right now. I'm excited for a full season AA. Hopefully he has a really good year. He can really jump these ratings up a considerable amount. DJ Park comes in number 3. Now, will be injured for most of the season again. Throws the ball way too hard. Pitches 101 and doesn't walk anybody. Very weird. The guy that throws 1,000 is the guy that doesn't walk anybody and struggles to get strikeouts. And the guy that throws 90 barely is the guy that gets a whole bunch of strikeouts. Very interesting profile, but a guy we think could be a future ace, and comes at number 3 on our board. And for the first time in a long time, Dominique Alez is not number 1 on our board. Yes, a newcomer coming in at number 1. Dominique Alez is number 2. Again, a really good contact bat. The plate skills are there. The power is coming along. Again, a lot of things in a really, really good spot. An interesting bunter as well. Maybe try to add that to his game. But a really good defender. That's really where he hangs his hat. Finally 21 years old, finally 65 years old, finally in a spot where we think he can really contribute coming up here very, very, very soon. Dominique Alez makes our list at number 2. And number 1 is now David McCormick. Yeah, David McCormick is our second round pick from last year. Ends up coming in at 98 potential as our number 1 prospect in all of the land. 88 stamina, 62 walks per 9. The Ks per 9 is low. The home runs per 9 is low at 60 overall. Velocity is there. He throws upper 90s, has a nice slider, a sinker, and a curveball. I can't wait to get my hands on him and play with him a little bit later on. Probably starting single A. David McCormick comes in at number 1 on our board. Look at the top 100 prospects in the game. Preston Lutz is number 1, followed by David McCormick. Chris Sanchez from the Blue Jays is 3. Oliver Pena from the Phillies is 4. Eric Kent, starter for the Orioles, is number 5. So that's 4 pitchers and 1 position player in top 5. Bill Brookshire could be Major League ready pretty soon for the Las Vegas A's. Matt Pearson, a guy that's been a top prospect for a while now. Again, a very good player, a little more power than anything. He from Atlanta is 7. Tim Gonzalez, a closer from last year, probably be in the major leagues very soon. He has really, really good ratings and be one of the premier back-end bullpen arms for a very long time at number 8. Kiki Kelly is another guy we wanted to draft and missed out on drafting. Major league fielder and athlete right now, kind of Bob Hernandez light. He comes in at number 9, and Raul Ojeda is number 10 on the board. Again, really good fielder, good athlete. The bat just a little bit ways away, 20 years old for Kansas City. The rest of our prospects, we have Dominique Alez, 19, and DJ Park, number 20. So 3 top 20 prospects in the land. John Norman comes in at 38 overall across everywhere. And keep scrolling. Do we have any more top 100 prospects Do we? I don't think we do. We don't. So we have those 4 guys, top 40. Nothing else beyond that. Trying to get more depth into this organization. David McCormick, the 2nd-ranked starting pitcher with DJ Park, the 7th-ranked starting pitcher. No relief pitching prospects for us as well, and we'll move Tim Gonzalez. I'll probably keep him in a closer. Usually I like to keep all the closers, move him to relievers, and then once they become a closer, move him to closer. Dominique Alez and Eduardo Tate and Ashton Fuqua all on the top 10 catchers list in terms of prospects in the game. Always had a pretty good catching system. First base is Rolando Bruce, followed by John Norman. For us, no one else in the top 20. Second base, we do not have a representative as well. Third base, we do have Theo Gillen, the 9th-ranked third baseman, and Neil Smalls, the 19th-ranked third baseman. Shortstop, Robert Hernandez, not on the list here. Left field, no one. Center field, we have no one. And right field, we have no one. So, before we go into the gameplay, position battles. Talk about them right now. It's going to be a battle for that final maybe 2 or 3 spots in the rotation between Bayo. I think Gavin Stone had a good enough year where he's good. Hayashi, Simeon Wood Richardson, Luis Perales, Connolly Early. There's just a big old battle between a whole bunch of guys, and we'll talk about how they all did a little bit later. But yeah, those guys are going to be battling. We're going to have some battles in the relief pitcher department. Probably won't show them because it's hard to really get them on gameplay, but we will talk about them as well. Other than that, if we're looking at third base, backup utility guy, Weston Wilson versus Theo Gillen. We'll talk about that. Who has a better spring? Who do we think is going to move over? Again, politics say that, hey, probably Weston Wilson stays with us. But that is going to be a conversation. As well as, say, will Kelvin Alcantara make the roster? Probably not, but maybe. Who knows? So let's get into the gameplay. We'll see you again when we talk about the first waves of cuts, and we'll see the gameplay a little bit later. But I'm gonna go record that, and we'll see you in just a minute. As always, we have 3 cut rounds. We'll have here today. We'll spend basically a week, just one more go around in the rotation. And really, this first cut is guys who just aren't going to make the team regardless. So we'll kind of check in to see who's doing what. Brian Bayo so far, so good. Oriyashi doing well. Simeon Wood Richardson, not too great. Todd Rudy, fantastic. Luis Perales really holding his own. Connolly Early doing all right. Brian Mata. These guys still in the rotation. We'll kind of keep them in mind and give them another week to go. Kopech, the only guy not getting innings so far, but Puck, Nardi's okay. Justin Slayton not having a good spring. Criswell doing all right. Bachman doing pretty well. Guerrero, Kelly, and Chris Murphy has given up a run, but other than that, pretty good for them. Walter Janik is not going to be making the roster, so we're just going to move him down. He did okay in spring. I mean, not great in spring. So it will be, again, a 2-man. It's Fuqua, and then it's Narvaez. No one on first base. Robert Perswan is just not going to be with us no matter what happens, so we're moving him down. Battle between Weston Wilson, Theo Gillen heating up a little bit. Obviously, Weston Wilson a little more power. Theo Gillen a little more average so far. That's nice to see them. Mikey Romero is not having a great spring, and he just isn't going to be with us as well. His last option used, so maybe a guy that we potentially trade this offseason, whatever. Mike Romero will be going down. In the outfield, Alcantara and Simpson and Walker will keep them up. So yeah, that will be it. We'll move around the lineup a little bit, and we'll see you for round 2 of cuts shortly. All right, second round of cuts. So this is where, again, we're going to make really some of these decisions. For, again, a lot of these pitchers, we do have not many options left on them. So this is kind of where we're trying to kind of figure out who's in the beginning of these battles. So Bayo, so far, has kind of earned his spot in the rotation. Hayashi has also earned his spot in the rotation. And those guys pretty much, for the most part, are going to be in it. Conley early, looks like he's not really having the best of springs. We're going to move him down to AAA while he has an option. He will start in AAA, and we'll see how long it takes him to get back up. In the bullpen, anyone who we're just going to really cut bait on? Luis Guerrero, potentially. Chris Murphy is doing great. We're going to move Luis Guerrero down just because he's not having the best of springs. And we have some guys who are just doing a lot better. So we're going to make that cut to try to trim the roster down. Again, we're kind of already figuring out who is going to be it. Theo Gillen. We'll let him be on the bench with us. And the rest of these guys we'll kind of let ride out. But for the moment being, that's just the only cuts we'll do. We'll see you at the end for the final cuts and position battles and explanations and all that jazz. Looks like we have 8 cuts to make. It's going to be very interesting, especially on the pitching side of things. All right, we are finally at the end of spring, and it's finally time to kind of check in on how the team did, what the moves are going to be, and all of that jazz. So, first off, we start with the roster battles. We're going with starting pitching. 2 spots we're going to have. And then whoever wins those 2 spots, that's going to be a battle once Johnny Turner returns. And he's going to go right back into the rotation. Maybe put him in Worcester for a little bit, just kind of see how he does. But first off, Brian Bayo. Excellent. 30 innings, 30 strikeouts, 8 walks, 1.16 ERA. He was dominant. And over the last 27 innings of work, 4 earned runs, 28 strikeouts. He was excellent. He definitely has earned himself that rotation spot again. Again, we just hopefully that this sticks. I don't understand why last year was so bad. It might have just been even 2027 was just more of an outlier year in terms of he got lucky. He is a ground ball pitcher. He's going to have like weird FIPS and all that. But as long as he kind of just keep everything consistent, we think he can be really, really good. He's under contract this year and next year. We will be rolling with him again, the most consistent player in this kind of like new era of Boston baseball. He has been kind of a beacon, one of those pitchers that the Red Sox didn't really develop, and finally here he is. Hopefully he can really hunker down and be that guy we know he can be. So Brian Bayo wins spot 1. Noriyashi ended up having not the best of the ends of spring, especially these last 24 innings, a 5.25 ERA, and especially these last couple of games. 5 earned runs in 3 innings against Atlanta, 3 earned runs in 5 innings against Minnesota, 2 earned runs in 4 innings against Atlanta. So that, last, 7 plus 5 is 12 innings. He gave up 10 earned runs, a couple of home runs, walked 5 guys in this game. Just really didn't have the best end of season, preseason, showing. If you look at a guy like Simeon Woods Richardson, he didn't have the best of outings either this spring. 17 innings, 12 earned runs in his last 17 innings, his last 10 appearances in spring. 5 earned runs in that first game against Tampa Bay. Then he had a nice outing against Philadelphia, but then went back to the bullpen, or had some appearances out of the bullpen, had another start here, and just really wasn't good in 2 out of 3 starts. And in the bullpen, he actually was serviceable until this end in Detroit. So again, Simeon Woods Richardson is eliminated, and he probably will be our first long relief guy that we use. Guy like Luis Perales, interestingly enough, really showed up and really showed himself in this spring setting. He might not win the battle for starter, but maybe he's a guy that we throw into the bullpen. Again, we're kind of really going to be very experimental with the bullpen this year. A guy that 2 earned runs here, but for the most part, 3 scoreless innings here. In his starts, he was pretty decent. And a guy that overall had 13 strikeouts, 13 hits, and 16 2/3 innings. Only walked 4 batters, and really only in 3 appearances. 7 appearances with no walks given up. Had a really, really strong spring, and really giving him some favor. And then if you look at Brian Mata, a guy that probably won't be making our bullpen. But yeah, of the three guys, Conley eliminated early in this process. We will be giving the starting nod to Norihashi and Brian Bayo, but Simeon Woods Richardson and Luis Perales stay in the starting, reliever hunt. Not in the reliever hunt is Todd Rudy. Ended up having really one bad start here, or really one bad outing here. And other than that, actually was super solid. Really, all of his runs came on 2 bad outings. Unfortunately, he has the propensity with the low hit per 9 to have innings get away from him. And that's exactly what he showed. We will be moving him over to AAA. We'll be having him in the bullpen at just 19 years old. We have options. Definitely a guy that's in line for a relief position later on. Before we go into the pitchers, let's go into the other realms of our roster. Chandler Simpson will be going down to AAA as well as Kevin Alcantara. He will go down there as well. Still some options for them. So the outfield will be Jordan Walker, Roman Anthony, Ceddanne Rafaela, and Riley Green as expected. Position battle number 2, the big one. Who is going to be the backup utility man? And it looks like Weston Wilson is going to win this battle. First off, let's talk about him. He's been here for, it looks like 30-ish games. He's been fine. Again, mostly the lefty. Look at these stats. 96 power contact, 73 power against lefties. Kind of inverse of what Rodolfo Castro gives you. Can't play first base, which is something that Theo Gillen cannot do, and that is a position that we're not going to really have a primary backup at. And with Tristan Casas being the way Tristan Casas is, Weston Wilson stepping up and playing first base is a little bit more valuable. Again, only one more year on the contract for him before we go into more ARB. In his last 10 games, he wasn't the best, but showed a lot of power early on in spring. Couple doubles, couple home runs, 7 runs, 7 RBI, and a steal. Weston Wilson is going to win it, but Theo Gillen is going to give every opportunity to come up at some point this year. Only 125 in his last 8 at-bats, 10 games, and that was really what did him in. He was batting 300 in the first real cut. He had a home run that we saw, 4 RBI total, 3 runs, but unfortunately, Theo Gillen, he will have every opportunity to be our third baseman next year. But that's next year. We move him down to AAA. So what is left to do is the relievers. We need to make 4 cuts. Kopech, Puck, Nardi, Slayton, guaranteed. Bautista, guaranteed. So that's already 5 in the bullpen. We have our 5 starters. And a guy like Simeon Woods Richardson is probably also going to be guaranteed. So really, 2 more slots? Let's see. Cooper Criswell was excellent. He had a 2.25 ERA this spring in 8 innings. And again, in those innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, only 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. That 1 run was 2/3 of an inning against Minnesota. Blanked Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Atlanta. He went 1 1/3 and gave a run. But blanked Miami, blanked Toronto, Detroit, and Toronto again. He had a nice showing. Sam Bachman, a 1.72 ERA. Is it finally time for Sam Bachman to get his chance? We traded for him long ago in our first offseason. We've sent him down multiple times. Is he finally going to be able to stick with us? 8 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 9 2/3. So did he get a little lucky? Probably. And that's what ultimately is making me a little wary about bringing a guy that's going to walk guys. Zach Kelly was awesome. This is a guy that experienced a lot of regression in the throughout the year, and really only 1 earned run. He really has solidified himself as a guy who can get this job and has a high hits per 9. Going to be definitely a low leverage reliever, a guy that we potentially can bring up. Another guy is Chris Murphy, a lefty, a 3.55 ERA, but he has options, so our first cut will be Chris Murphy. The next cut we're going to make is going to be not Luis Perales, but Brian Mata. Just a guy that 5.4 ERA isn't too great. He will be going through waivers. That is something to look at as well. 3 more cuts to make. Ooh, it's going to get, or 2 more cuts to make, excuse me. It's going to be interesting. Bachman, Kelly, and Criswell all have their options, as well as Perales. We're going to cut Criswell. We're going to cut Bachman. And let's check out our final roster. So our roster is going to look like this. This is probably going to be the batting order that we have them in to start the year at least. Riley Green leading off, playing left field. Alex Bregman in third base, batting second against righties. Rafael Devers had a nuts spring. He will be our DH with Tristan Costas behind him as usual. Top 4 don't really change, except for we do plug in Riley Green for Jarren Duran. And then Asher Fuqua is going to get plugged in right where Connor Wong usually is, a 2.45 batting average through spring. Again, stability in that lineup to really guarantee us a good at-bat in the middle lineup is crucial. Roman Anthony, his breakout, just to kind of break up the lefties. He is batting 6th. He probably should be batting higher, but again, just to break up the lefties, he's here. Christian Campbell, need a good year. He showed a lot of power in spring here with 4 home runs, but we still would love to see that average climb up. We'll see how well of a start he gets off to. Marcelo Meyer, kind of the same exact boat. Showed some power in the spring, but would love to see that average. 240 ain't bad, but again, this is a guy that now in their third years each at 26. Both of those guys are at, time to get up on that horse. Don Rafaela, an awesome spring as well. Obviously better against righties and lefties for some reason, but one of the best gloves in the game in center field. That's why he's out here. Jordan Walker, Carlos Narvaez, Weston Wilson, and Rodolfo Castro will be our bench pieces against righties. Against lefties, pretty much the same, except for Rodolfo Castro is going to come in and play shortstop, as those power numbers he's just been our guy to be our shortstop. That's what he's going to come do. Devers and Costas behind him. Fuqua again at 5. Alex Bregman at 6. Roman Anthony 7. Campbell at 8. And Don Rafaela at 9 in the line. Go like this. Luis Perales will be our long man, making his major league debut here soon. Justin Slayton, Simeon Woods Richardson will get an extended invite to the bullpen. We're with that K per 9 and some of those per 9s where they are. We're going to have him be a middle reliever, see how that role fits him. Zach Kelly's in there as well as a low leverage reliever, with Andrew Nardi going into a middle relief role as well. Michael Kopech and AJ Puck will be our setup men as usual, with Felix Bautista in to close. That's going to do it here for this day. We will advance the day, sim into the regular season. We're taking on the Baltimore Orioles next time. Crochet Scooble don't get much better than that on opening day. Our first game at Fenway will then be against the Yankees. Hayashi versus looks like Josiah Gray on a Monday. We will see you then. I am super duper excited. Get excited. A fun year ahead. We will see you next time.